You first need to have passion for what you do. If you solve a problem and you can actually make the product, then you'll have a super good success rate. And then the team is really important. And you also need to enjoy the bad days.
Welcome to the Startup Passport by Frontwalker. Today we are joined by Liesje Goldschmidt. Thank you very much for joining again. Third time's a charm.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
How has the last year been for you? You still work for Erasmus Enterprise here in Rotterdam?
Yeah. So I don't think I said last year that I'm maybe going to start my own business, but not this year. So we really enjoyed. So in the last 5 years, we guided 1,245 teams. I'm not sure how many last year, but that's quite a lot. Still, approximately 500 startups are existing, and 30% stays in the region. So we had a lot of fun. We do it with a super cool and entrepreneurial fun team. So it was a good year.
And how would you say are students in regards to entrepreneurship right now? Because you hear a lot of graduates that have problems, especially in the business side and like finding an entry job. Do you think that has any influence on entrepreneurship, on people maybe thinking, okay, then I will try something on my own?
Yes, definitely. So there is a major shift also with the Peter Wenning report that there's a good momentum to start your own business in terms of investments, but also in terms of just finding the right people to go for it. So yes, I definitely think that more students are starting their own business.
And how has the last year been for you yourself? If we take a step back, because last year you told us that you were training for a marathon, and you did that. You did the New York Marathon, I think, about half a year ago now, right?
Yeah. I did the New York Marathon, and after 10 kilometers, I already thought I'm done for the day. But I enjoyed the cheering of all the the crowds in New York. And it was super cool because I did it also together with my father. He was cheering on the sides. And then after the marathon, I thought, I'm going to train for an Ironman. So I'm now training for an Ironman. So I'm kind of making the next step this year.
How far is that still away?
Yeah, 3.8 kilometers swim, 180 kilometers bike rides, and a marathon to finish with.
And then when is that going to happen? So how much time do you still have to prepare for that?
Yeah, approximately 20 weeks.
20 weeks.
And I'm going to do it in Barcelona with friends and family. So yeah.
And last year you also talked about that also, you can kind of, the endurance sport that you were doing, you can kind of sometimes transform that onto entrepreneurship as well, because you said entrepreneurship or building your own business is also not a sprint, it's a marathon as well.
Yeah.
And now when you have a lot of touching points with entrepreneurs, what do you think makes up a good entrepreneur? Do you look more at the company that the entrepreneur is building, or are you looking at character traits? What is it exactly from your personal experience?
Yeah, I think you first need to have passion for what you do. So if you solve a problem and you can actually make the product, then you'll have a super good success rate. And then the team is really important. And you also need to enjoy the bad days. And that's really what I learned from training for an Ironman. Not every training is a good one, but also just enjoy it. And we see that a lot of entrepreneurs succeed because they have those three things, and they also just enjoy life more. So...
And what are the most common challenges? Like, what are the most common things that happen on bad day? Because at Erasmus Enterprise, are you usually talking to very early stage entrepreneurs, so students, or also people that are already further in their journey?
Yeah, it's a mixture, to be honest. So it's startups and scale-ups. Most of the team and me start to talk to super early stage. So it can be a student who has a super nice, enthusiastic idea and just want to start a business, and has already a little team, and we also do it quite closely together with the TU Delft and Leiden. So we think that's the perfect combination. The challenge is also, so a lot of students actually don't know how to work. So starting their own business is just also kind of learning and how to work. So how to guide a team, how to come up with a process. So that's one of the kind of day-to-day challenges they have. And if startups start to scale, then money becomes a problem. But that's at the later stage.
And do you think that is something people can learn, how to guide a team, how to be an entrepreneur? Do you think it is possible to learn how to be an entrepreneur, or is that something that either some people have it and some people don't?
I don't think it's a trade-off in life. I think you can learn almost everything in life if you're open and also kind of admit what you cannot do. So if you find the right team members, then you can definitely become an entrepreneur yourself. So yeah.
Do you think they have to be more open to uncertainties, especially at the start? Because you can also have them in a more corporate job or in a more in your own personal life. I think you yourself did take some risk or some unusual path. You were also traveling for a year, for example, I think, and then you also spent all of your savings on that, and then essentially came back and found your own path into entrepreneurship, while not being an entrepreneur yourself, but then by helping entrepreneurs. So do you think that is something that is especially important for entrepreneurs to have that kind of like leaning into uncertainty, or is it similar to other people that have more common jobs?
I think as an entrepreneur, you need to have a little bit fun of uncertainty. So if you really strict your rules, then start working at different companies. So, but you can also learn that a bit. So I think when I was younger, I felt the need to have more control. And when I grew older, I kind of really enjoyed being just myself and choosing a different path. So, so.
And now, towards the end, we still have some quick fire questions. So this mostly this or that questions. So from your perspective, big network or deep relationships?
Deep relationships.
Solo or team?
Team.
Follow the plan or trust the process?
Trust the process.
That's the next one is a little bit of a tricky one, especially for you. Rotterdam or Amsterdam?
Oh. Really tricky one.
Putting you on the spot here.
Yeah. Honestly, I cannot choose. But Rotterdam, I would say.
That's a good answer. Founder or ecosystem builder?
Also a good question. For now, ecosystem builder. In the future, maybe a founder.
Yeah, last year you said it. And also just want to remind you that we are keeping track. Last year you said you still had 10 years left. So then you would start your business at the same age as your father did. So now it's 9.
Yeah.
So we are
counting.
keeping track. Yeah, exactly.
So if you have a great business idea and want to have a co-founder, I'm here.
There we go. And then the last question for you, marathon or kite surfing?
Definitely kite surfing.
Definitely kite surfing.
Yeah, the ocean is the most beautiful place to be in.
Either also kite surfing against Ironman, that also kite surfing? Not for the next 20 weeks, hopefully.
No, the process of the Ironman is super special because in the end you do it with family, and that's the most important thing in life. But the magic and the freedom of kite surfing and doing with all the animals in the ocean, that's part of freedom will always, be super cool.
And we wish you good luck with that, and especially also with the Ironman coming up. So thank you for joining again. Let's see if we can do it again next year. And thank you for joining again, Liesje Goldschmidt.
Thank you.